Hi everyone, this is Ayesha Nasir, the original Scaryammi, and today I'm here to talk to you about a topic that we discuss on Scaryammi, the blog, again and again, and it's something that affects every mother, no matter how old your child is. It affects you, it affects me, and today I'm going to talk to you about the 5 parenting styles that psychologists, therapists, parenting experts all over the world believe exist. And all of us, you, me, our aunts, our grandmothers, our moms, can be fit into one of those 5 styles. It's important to know what style you are implementing, maybe without even knowing, because only then, once you understand the style, can you understand the repercussions and the benefits and maybe adjust your style a little. So the first style I'm going to talk about, which is a style that I feel I also subscribe to, is the authoritative style of parenting. So, mostly, popularly, it's believed that the authoritative style of parenting is not just the most common, it's also probably the most beneficial for a child. How do you know if you are an authoritative parent? Well, does your child have a schedule? Is your child expected to do certain things at certain times? Do you give your child a choice in choosing whether he wants to do swimming or running today, or is it really your will? Because an authoritative parent really makes most of these decisions for the child. Is your child excelling? Because most authoritative parents have children who excel in sports, excel in studies, mainly because the parent is choosing and deciding that the child needs to spend 2 hours studying every day from 4 to 6. The child needs to run every day from 5 to 5:30, etc. You get the idea. So timetable parents are authoritative parents. Parents whose children are probably A-star students are most probably authoritative parents because they're making sure there is a routine. Authoritative parents believe strongly in routines, they believe strongly in timetables, they believe strongly in pushing a child to excel. Authoritative parents can also be a little hyper and they're kind of always there on the sidelines cheering a child on. That's what an authoritative parent is. So a lot of this is good. It is good for a child to have structure. It is good for a child to have a timetable. It's good for a parent to be so involved in the nitty-gritties. But, it can be overdone. If you're making all the choices for your child will not learn independence. Your child will not take ownership. So it is really important to, while great that you're an authoritative parent, great that you're putting in the effort that an authoritative parent puts in, just be mindful of maybe overdoing it a little, of maybe making too many decisions for your child, of maybe robbing your child of independence. So guys, the second form of parenting that I'm going to discuss today is permissive parenting. And in this kind of parenting, generally parents are more lenient, they're more indulgent. When a parent actually asks the child, so do you want to play football today? Do you want to go for swimming today? They're very indulgent. They don't believe in teaching their children a lot. They don't believe in sticking to a timetable. They don't believe in a set routine. They kind of let their children play after school, teach them when the child feels up to it. Also, in this particular form of parenting, there is a lot of bribing. So if you study for an hour, I will let you play on the iPad for 30 minutes. If you go and attend this football match, or if you go and participate in this football match, I will take you to McDonald's, etc. There's a lot of bribing. There's also a lot of coddling, a lot of cuddling, a lot of, oh, they're too small, let's not give them the pressure of studies. Oh, they're too small, let's not push them to play football. Oh, my son's not into riding, so I was no problem, don't do riding, etc., etc. This is permissive parenting. The good thing about permissive parenting is that the parents show a lot of love to the child and a lot of care, and they really nurture a child. But there are more drawbacks to the permissive parenting method than there are benefits. The biggest drawback being that these children have no idea about self-discipline. They have no idea of self-control. They end up not doing well academically because there's no set schedule, and they end up suffering as they grow older because they can't deal with authority since their own parents were not authority figures. Their own parents were like friends. So these children are unable to deal with authority, unable to take direction. They don't do that well in the work environment where you have to stick to a timetable, you have to listen to a boss or be the boss and implement the actions. So they're unable to kind of do that because they were brought up in a form of parenting where it was all about indulging them and giving in to them, etc. So permissive parenting, if you are a permissive parent, good that you're indulging your child, good that you're nurturing your child. But just remember, routine is what a child really needs. And a parent pushing the child, believing in the child, but pushing them towards a goal in the authoritative style really does far more benefits than just trying to be your child's best friend. Your child will have many, many, many friends as they grow older, but they will not have many, many, many parents. They need you to be a parent. They need you to say no. And they need you to say, yes, you will have to do this, and you will have to do this at 4 p.m. That has many more benefits than you trying to be your child's buddy. So be mindful of that. So the third style of parenting I want to discuss with you today is instinctive parenting. This is also called the old school way of being a parent. And really in instinctive parenting, you're kind of going with your gut, and you almost like maybe unconsciously or consciously becoming the parent that you were parented by. So in instinctive parenting, a lot of us end up mimicking our mothers, our husbands end up mimicking their fathers, and it's a lot of just going with your gut, doing what you feel is right, or doing things the way things were done to you. And while the good thing about instinctive parenting is that you're listening to your instincts, and a mother's instincts are a very, very strong force indeed, it's really, again, not the best way to be a parent, because there are so many more studies out there, there's so much more research out there that helps us in making parenting decisions that maybe did not exist like 2 decades ago. Also, you are not your child, right? So maybe the way your parents brought you up and it worked for you, it might not work for your child, because your child, while he is born of you, is not you. His needs might be different. Maybe your child has a mild ADD, like attention deficit syndrome, which would greatly benefit from having a set schedule, from having a routine, from having goals to be achieved on a daily basis, and then a weekly basis, then a monthly basis. And maybe you were brought up in more the permissive parenting style, where your parents were like, yeah, whatever, do whatever, jab dil chahe homework kar lo, jab dil chahe khel lo. So that might not be what your child needs. So in the instinctive parenting, well, I feel it's really important for a parent to listen to the child and to let his or her instincts guide him or her. It's also really important to understand the needs of your child and to make sure your parenting method is fulfilling those needs. The fourth style of parenting is called the permissive style of parenting, or also like the hippie style of parenting. I don't think Asian, Pakistani, Indian parents, I don't know many of them who are permissive parents. So permissive parenting is really also called lenient parenting. So you kind of letting your children do what they want. They don't really need your permission. You letting them live their lives the way they want to, and you just kind of going with the flow. And in permissive parenting, parents don't really have a lot of demands from their children. The pro of permissive parenting is that it seems to boost up creativity, it boosts up thinking out of the box, because the children are left to their own devices. There's no structure or timetable. These children sometimes can be seen putting together twigs and making artworks of their own. They can turn into very good artists because they're allowed that reign to just think and do what they want to. But most children of permissive parents don't end up doing very well in life, because they're really missing out on ambition, on drive, on these attributes that need to be developed at a very young age. They're also missing out on structure, which again and again I'd like to emphasize is really important for the healthy growth of a child. A child needs to be in a structured environment. They need to eat breakfast at a certain time, eat lunch at a certain time, have a fitness routine, have a study routine, have all these routines. So in permissive parenting, it's like the opposite of authoritative parenting. In permissive parenting, the child does as he pleases, not many demands. He can pass in his exams, obviously not fail, but pass. There's no compulsion on him to do really well. It's a lot of casual, free-flowing play dates. Some homeschooling parents subscribe to this idea of just letting children be. They call it a more natural way of parenting. I don't think it's natural, because I think the natural role of a parent has always been to guide and to instruct a child. It hasn't really been to be more chilled out. But I mean, whatever works for some people. I'm not a permissive parent. It's not something I would endorse. But again, whatever works. So the last form of parenting, or the fifth form, is the attachment form of parenting, or the attachment style of parenting. And the aim of this style of parenting is really for the parent to form like a strong emotional bond with the child. That's really the aim. So these parents work really hard on them. So generally you will find attachment parents are the kind of parents who want to do co-sleeping with their children till like their children are maybe 7, 8, like late. And these are also the kind of parents who do a lot of homeschooling. Mainly, a lot of their parenting decisions are based on forming a strong bond with their parent. They're also the kind of parents who would go for a home birth, who will do things like all the children sleeping together in one family room, the mom being the parent and the homeschooler, the dad being the coach. This is all good stuff. It's great to focus on forming an emotional bond with your child. It's great to indulge your child and to work on really becoming like your child's strongest emotional bond in life. But again, attachment parents can sometimes neglect things like routine, neglect things like the child's nutritional well-being, because they're so focused on forming a good bond that they might not force their child to eat like the spinach and the broccoli. They might indulge and give in because they really don't want to use the word no too often, since for them all their parenting decisions are based on becoming the child's like anchor in life, which is great. But again, I want to come back to the benefits of the authoritative parent. It is really important to also be able to say no. It is really important to also be able to say, wait a minute, you cannot do this, or wait a minute, you need to eat your spinach, or wait a minute, you need to go for tennis at 4 p.m. I think all these are also really important statements to make, and also it's really important for the child to not just see the parent as his anchor and a friend, but also to see the parent as a parent and an authority figure. So sorry, the vlog ran a little long because we were discussing 5 styles of parenting, and no matter which style you fall into and whatever your parenting philosophy is, I think knowing the 5 styles, understanding the pros and cons of each style will help you become the best mom you can be. That's it from the original Scaryammi. Stay tuned to Scaryammi.